Hey folks, this episode is sponsored by City Traders Imperium. Now, what you might not know is CTI has the best funded account conditions up to $2 million, which is the most in the industry. Now, go check out the video I recorded with them to learn more about their incredible package where Trading Nut listeners get an exclusive deal. It includes access to their high-performance trader mastermind and funding program. What are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below or above and go check out that video. All right, folks, here we are back on Trading Nut. We've got Richard Nasser back on the show after a couple of epic appearances. I've got to say, Richard, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Cam. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here again.
Well, look, guys, we've got something a bit different for you today. So Richard wants to show you through his approach to trading crypto or holding and buying and holding crypto, what he does when he's analyzing, picking which cryptos to go after, which altcoins to go after, and that sort of thing. So you're going to get the full-on experience here in a condensed down version really quickly. So turn off your phones and stay tuned. We're about to dive in and see Richard's chart and have him go through all this stuff right now. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Thank you for the amazing intro, Cam. Let's do it. So first of all, for those who already know me or watched my previous video, know that my trading style is very, very simple. So I start always from the weekly and daily time frames to know where we are in the market. If you are overall bullish, obviously we'll be looking for buy setups when the correction is about to end to catch the next impulse movement. When you are overall bearish, we'll be looking for sell setups. And now you'll see that this case is a little bit different when it comes to crypto, because I personally don't sell, I just buy and hold. But we'll take an example about this market structure or this market condition. Or of course, if you are in a range, we will be trading the range and we'll be looking for buy setups around the support. And of course, when the resistance is broken upward, we'll be looking for buy setups. Anyway, we'll take examples about all of these. And when it comes to crypto, I just apply this same approach. However, the only difference is, first of all, I don't trade it, as mentioned before, as Cam mentioned, I hold it, right? Because first of all, for me, it is too volatile and the market is always open. And I believe in the blockchain technology and I want to be a part of it over the long term. Okay, so I don't buy it, I hold it. That's the first. The second one is that before I add it to my watch list, right, I do a quick research about it. If the project is good, then I add it to my watch list, because we have thousands and every day new coins are going published, if you want to call it. So we do a quick research about the coin. If it's good, then I add it to my watch list, because I can't monitor or invest in them all, right? So I select a couple of ones and I keep an eye on it. And then, as mentioned previously, I do my personal weekly analysis. I do my analysis for the instrument or coin. And when the conditions are met, I jump in. Okay, so now what we will do in this session is, first of all, I'm going to do a detailed breakdown on Bitcoin, because it's the mother of Bitcoin, right? So all altcoins are the babies and they follow Bitcoin. So it's very important to keep an eye on Bitcoin always, whether you invest in it or not. So we'll do a detailed breakdown on Bitcoin, and then I will share 3 very important rules. And of course, I will not just share it by saying it, I will be sharing through practical live examples. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, and as you can see, we have to know, for those who already watched my previous video, know that we want to know where we are in the market. Okay, and we are obviously overall bullish, right? We don't have to compare, or we don't have to read the market structure. So after this crash, correction, whatever you want to call it, after this movement, right, we are looking for what? We are looking for buy setups to jump in again, right? And the first area, when this happens, you have to look and you have to identify key rejection areas where price might reject, where the buyers might kick in. And from the first glance, you can clearly see that we've got an aggressive movement upward from here. So here's our demand area, right? And as price approaches this demand, I'm not interested in buying Bitcoin unless it approaches this demand area. That's first. If broken downward, right, and yes, it might be broken downward, but maybe not now. If broken downward, you always have to be open-minded that if and only if broken downward, then the second demand zone would be around here, right? So we had a rally, a small base. This is the last bearish candle, and then a rally again. So which will be around the 20K. And so for now, we know where we are in the market, and we also have this supply zone. So as price approaches it, we can expect to see a rejection from here. And for the buyers to take full control and to see a new all-time high, we need to see a break above this supply zone to invalidate it. But anyway, for now, let's take it step by step. And this is what we know so far from weekly time frame. And as I always say, since on crypto, we don't have typical support and resistance where we don't have like many failed attempts to break above a certain level. And I personally like support and resistance over an extended period of time because it holds, right? So because we don't have this on crypto, especially, first of all, because it keeps on making new all-time highs. So we don't have like many failed attempts. That's first. Second, because some crypto or some coins would be very new and we don't have enough data. That's why we go for three things. The first one is non-horizontal support and resistance, which are trend lines. 1. 2, round numbers, but we need to have strong round number and not just like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 10, 20, right? And it depends on the case. So if a coin is trading between 1 and 10, then yes, you can go for 1, 5, and 10. If it's trading between like 0 and 100, then you have to adjust your round numbers. You can't go for 1, 5, 10, right? So for example, Bitcoin is trading between 4K and 60, 70K. So you have to adjust accordingly. So this is what we know so far. We don't have support and resistance. Let's zoom into daily time frame. And this is where you highlight your round numbers. For example, this demand area that we just saw is around what? Is around the 30K, right? Which makes total sense. And as you can see, we've got many liquidity, buy orders, whales, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, we've got this wick exactly to the 30K, which means that the 30K really is holding and is an point of interest where there are many buyers and sellers. Okay, so this is it. And of course, because it's not a point resistance, you have to treat it as a zone, just like point resistance. So it's not a laser line. Again, as per my trading style, I don't just like buy if it touches it, or if the price breaks it down, we will sell immediately. We don't do that. It's just a zone where we'll be zooming into lower time frames to look for potential setups around it. We always wait for extra confirmation. And now I'm going to answer this famous question that is the dip over, are the buyers already taking control or not? And of course, and as per my opinion, so it's not a financial advice. So now this is the 30K, and of course it's a zone. So I usually make it like 28 to 30. This is it. The next one would be where it would be around the 40K, right? So 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. And we'll also have the 20, but I will not draw it because it's already down there. Anyway, we can draw it. And as mentioned from weekly, the 20K is this demand area here. It happens that, right, it makes sense because we have a demand and we have the 20. And here as well, we have the demand and we have the 30. Okay, so this is where you know that it's not only a round number, it's only a very strong point of interest. So this is 20K, 30, okay, and this is the 40K. And then we've got the 50K and so on, of course. I will not draw the rest because to save some time here. And this is the 48, because this is what I noticed. Okay, and for those who know me or have been following me know that we've been trading Bitcoin all over the place. For example, price, we're looking for buy setups around here. So wait for price to approach a strong rejection area and then look for buy setups. We'll take an example in a bit that you don't buy on the impulse movement, and we'll take an example just in a bit. So I'll give you a previous example and then we'll apply the same example here to know what to look for and when to look for. First of all, we have this resistance, right? It's the 40 and 38K. So for price to break it down, to break it upward, right, we need an aggressive bullish candle. So we need like a massive bullish candle, or we need two small bullish candles. But we need, right, the resistance to be broken for all possible traders, for all possible resistance that traders might draw. Okay, so for example here, maybe trader A, B, and C, they have it like this, 40K, but maybe trader D, E, F, they have it like this. Okay, so for them, it's not broken yet, and they are still looking for sell setups. So we need a massive candle to confirm that it's broken for all traders, or two big bullish candles, which didn't happen here. As you can see, the price only formed like a small candle with a big wick from the upper side, and then rejected it down. So here we are still looking for sell setups.
Now, you might already know the boundaries of trading are expanding faster than ever, but what you may not know is there's still time to take advantage of these opportunities. With my sponsor, Sage Strategies, you can instantly get access to institutional grade algorithms built on the back of decades of professional fund management experience. This means their systems are robustly tested, risk managed, and rigorously informed by their team of experts. Go and check them out at sagestrategies.io or click the link in the description.
And this is why I want to show you. So for example, now this is broken upward, okay? And here as well, this is broken upward. On the retest, we can look for buy setups. And of course, support again, and then price broke it down. Okay, so now for those who are asking me or asking in general, when the bulls will take over. So first of all, we know that from weekly time frame, we have a demand around 30K, then the price rejected this 30K. But for the buyers to take full control, they have to break above what? Above the previous highs, which are here. And as mentioned previously, this is an example, the price here didn't break it upward in an aggressive manner. Instead, as you can see, closed slightly above it and then reversed back. So it's still acting as a resistance here. Okay, and then you can see that it got stuck inside this range. We'll zoom into H4 in a bit to see the price action in a clearer manner. But for now, from a daily perspective, from a daily volume, because daily, I personally like the most the daily candles. So if it breaks above the 40K and above this one, which is around 40K 500, we can now know that the bulls are finally taking full control and the movement till the next one would be expected. So once broken upward, the 40K will become a support, and then we'll be looking for buy. Just like here, broken upward, support, support, and support, until, of course, price breaks it downward again. Okay, so this is what I'm waiting for. Meanwhile, and I said that many times, the price was around here and around here. Okay, so it's not ready to go yet. It's not ready to go higher, right? Unless we have a break. And as you can see, price rejected it once. And now, unless we have this break above this area, Bitcoin can still go down from here. It can still go down, test this area, or even test this 30K area to get more liquidity and then to be able to push price higher. But for now, this is what we know. And if we zoom into H4 time frame, we can clearly see that the momentum is starting to be shifted, okay, from bearish to bullish. But again, it's not ready to go yet. Okay, so previously we can clearly see that we were in a bullish trend and price broke below the previous low. So now we are in a bearish trend, and then we had this correction, and then we had this impulse to the downside. Now it wouldn't be that easy for the buyers to take full control again, right? Especially after this huge drop. I'm not saying that they won't, but it wouldn't be that easy. And I'm going to answer this question that I get asked a lot, that if Bitcoin is going to 100K, right? So now what we know is we are overall bearish, right? So price is making lower highs and lower lows, obviously, okay? And then starting from here, we can see that the momentum is starting to be shifted. And as per macro structure 101, we can see that the impulse was very big, right? And then we had this correction. Next, the impulse are getting flatter, right? We can clearly see that the impulse was very aggressive previously, right? So you can see a steep, like a straight line. And then you can clearly see that it's getting flatter, okay? And of course, smaller in size. So big, smaller, and flatter. Okay, that's what we know that we might have. So it would be like a circle, right? So it was going down steep, then we had this move, and then we want to see a reversal. But for the reversal to be confirmed again and again, as mentioned, we need to see a break above this 40K from daily time frame. I personally only confirm the break after a daily candle close and above the previous bullish candle, which is here, as mentioned before, around the 40K 500. Okay, but we can see that now the momentum is going to be shifted. At least it's an early alert, right? And of course, this is the first time that we can see that the price failed to make a lower low and instead made higher low. Okay, so let me get it outward. So it was making lower lows and lower highs. The first time that we see a higher low, which also means that the buyers are exhausted and they couldn't push price lower as they were pushing before to make a lower low and instead made a higher low. So all of these scenarios combined, and of course we have the 30K that price rejected. So it makes more sense now that this all shift in momentum is happening around the 30K, but we have the 40K resistance. So we need to wait for it. And then we can say that, yes, we might see a bullish movement. The buyers would take full control. Now, is it going to reach 100K? Yes, the 100K sounds great, right? Or 200K. But I like to take it step by step. So first of all, before reaching 100K, it has to reach 50K. So we have to see a break above this one. Then we can say that, yes, now we can see the 50K. Next, to see the 60K, which is around here, we need to see a break above the 50K, okay? So yes, over the long period of time, it might reach and it will reach eventually, but we have to take it step by step. Okay, so this is for Bitcoin. This is how you get a feeling about the market. And if you zoom into H1 time frame, you can zoom as much as you want, but I recommend that new traders don't zoom in more than H4. Okay, you can see that we've got like a symmetrical triangle forming, like this one and this one. And the symmetrical triangle is good, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky because price can still break one side, get more liquidity before breaking the other side. I call it the bow and arrow. So it has to go like this before going forward again. But, and the good thing about symmetrical triangles are the more the price go in time, the smaller the range becomes. So it has finally to break either side. It can't like trade inside this one forever. So as you can see, the more trade inside the symmetric triangle, swings, highs and lows are getting flatter and are getting closer to each other. Eventually, it has to break. It has to pick a side. As mentioned previously, the 40K is still a resistance area, so it can still break it downward. In this case, we can say that we might have a correction to the 30K one more time before a break upward, or if price decides to break above the upper one, then it would be an early alert that yes, the buyers are now gaining strength. But for them to have a full control, we need to see, as mentioned before, from daily, a candle close above the 40,500. Then we'll be looking for buy on the retest. Okay, this is it for Bitcoin. And of course, you can apply the same strategies or the same approach on almost all coins. We'll see examples now. And this is Ethereum. I already drew my levels and so on. So this Ethereum, this one, because it's trading between 500 and 4K, its round numbers would be in terms of 500 and not 10K, just like Bitcoin. So 1.5K, 2K, 2.5K. And as you can see, the price is respecting these zones, if you want to call it. Okay. And again, just like Bitcoin rejected the 2K and not the 30K there, then broke it upward. But unlike Bitcoin, here is stuck inside these two. And for the buyers to take full control, they have to break also above this one. And if we zoom into lower time frames, we can see that we also have a shift in momentum and so on. But to be confirmed, we need to see a break above this one. And then we can say that then we can see a movement to the next resistance area. Okay, so this is for Ethereum and Bitcoin. I will now share 3 important rules. My rules are, the first one is don't buy around resistance. Okay, so now we know where we're selling the market. And now you are looking for buy setups, right? To buy and hold it. So the first one is don't buy around resistance. So let me give you an example. So price was around here, right? And for those who only know that, we've been trading this range. We were looking for buy setups around the lower bound of the range. So we're trading inside this area. And I'm not interested in buying ADA or Cardano around this area. We are waiting for price for ADA to approach our support area. That's why we are interested in buying. And we'll see the next example that always think in terms of risk to reward. Okay, so don't buy just based on hype, just because of fear of missing out that you just want to buy. First of all, you've got what? You've got plenty of coins, right? So if you missed the opportunity here and price didn't even retest to give you a re-entry opportunity, you've got like plenty of coins. So don't just focus on one coin. Just like we say in Forex, don't marry your trade. So you are a trader and not an investor. So don't just like get too attached to one single coin or instrument that you want to hold it. Don't force it. Okay, so don't buy around resistance. Wait for a retest. And if you waited, you are entering around 1. And if price goes up, then you've already made 1.5 of your investment, right? 50% return, just because you waited for a retest. So always a retest, you will always have the opportunity to re-enter again. This is first, unless, because we are now inside a support and resistance, this is what the example is about. We'll see another example on where the price is going up and one more where it's going down. Okay, so I'm trying to cover all the possible scenarios so that you will know when you have one of these how to approach it. So Now we are in support and resistance. We are interested only in buying around the support, and unless it's broken upward, then we'll be looking for buy setups on the retest. Okay, so think in terms of it's inside a floor, and until it goes to the next floor, I'm not interested in jumping in. Okay.
Hey guys, ever wonder what broker I use? Well, I use these guys, Hanko Trade. Look, it was a no-brainer for me because I was looking for a broker with really good trading conditions and one without any leverage restrictions. Look, also, by joining Hanko Trade, I was able to cut my cost of trading significantly with their super low commission of $1 per 100K. Look, if you want to find out more, check out hankotrade.com or there is a link in the description.
And I will show you another example, this one. So this is a perfect example on showing you how to think in terms of risk to reward. I posted this one like 3 or 4 weeks ago, that algo was around here. And this is what this is just the same picture, that I'm not interested in buying here, right? Why? Because I think in terms of risk to reward, we have a rejection area here, no matter if it's a resistance, a supply, right? So it's a very clear rejection area, and it's also the all-time high. So the price might reject it, right? And if I enter a buy here, my risk would be this, because price can still go down, test the support, or also it's a demand area before going up, okay? So I think that you think in terms of risk to reward, what's your risk is that it can go this much before going up again, of course. What's your reward? It can go this much and then reverse, right? So I'm not interested in buying here. My trading plan is I'll be waiting for price to approach the support and then look for buy here, or if price goes up and break this resistance, because it can hold price down. So I want it to be invalidated, or I want it to be broken to become support, and then I'll be looking for buy on the retest. Okay, so this is how I approach it. It depends on the case. Now, as you can see, algo, they are inside a horizontal range, support and resistance. Okay, so this is it. And of course, if price would break this one down, the next support area I'm looking for, buy stop, and in case it's a demand area, would be around this area. So now, and of course, it depends on your trading style. I personally don't just like buy blindly because we're on support. I always zoom into lower time frames and get an extra confirmation. And of course, you have to have a trading plan and you have rules to jump in. Okay, so we are nothing but risk managers. So we are trying to put the odds in our favor. Okay, so we can't really know what's going to happen. No one expected this crash, if you want to call it. We expected a correction movement, but not a deep correction movement like this. So don't ever try to predict what's going to happen. And please don't just like buy because you want to be involved in this blockchain technology. Okay, it's good, but wait for a better opportunity. For example, if I was to enter around this area, it's at 1.6. If I waited to enter around here, which would be around the 1, and let's say if I want to enter with extra confirmation, so I enter around the 1, right? So not exactly here. So now if price goes up, then I'm already doubling my 1.8 R, if I want to call it, and this is my edge. So now let me show you my third rule now, before jumping into the second rule. And we'll take more examples about the second rule and this overall bullish trend. So always think in terms of risk to reward. The third rule is, I call it the power of half. Okay, so for those who don't like to buy and hold, I personally like to buy and hold and never look back to it again. I just look for new opportunities or new coins to diversify my portfolio. But for those who feel better, they don't want, for example, to see like a big drawdown. Okay, so first of all, just follow this. Think in terms of risk to reward. We'll take more examples about this later on. But it's also good because, as I told you before, you're entering around the 1, right? So when price goes up and you double your money, so 1, let's say 2 or 1.8, it depends where the resistance is. Sometimes it's like 2.5 R, so you triple your money, for example. So it depends on the next resistance. What you can do is you can close half, okay? This way, if price goes down, and providing you another entry opportunity, then you can add the next half here. So here you've already booked your money. So let's say you entered with $100. And of course, don't put all your savings in crypto. That's very obvious, right? So let's say you want to invest 1K that you can afford to lose, right? So diversify it into at least 10 coins. I personally diversify it into 30 coins. But as a start, if your account is small, or if your budget is small, 10 coins would be fine. So like, for example, 1K divided by 10 is 100, right? So you want to enter a buy with $100, right? So you don't enter the entire 100 here. You can enter with 50 here And then if price breaks the next resistance, you can enter with 50 again. That's the first approach. The second approach is, and depends on your risk appetite and your trading style, you can enter with the entire 100 here, right? So 100, 110 of your account is $100. And then when price goes up, you can close 50. So now you've booked, right? So now you've booked your profit. And I don't mean like close it. I don't trade on margin. I just like buy the actual coin, and then I transfer, for example, like $50 on USDT later on. Or I transfer half, right here. So I don't mean like close it just like we do in Forex or on margin. So you close half here. Now you've booked your profit, you've made money from it, and you already made your return back. So let's say it's double, right? So 100, it became 200, for example. You've booked already 100, so now you are, it's like you are risk-free. And then if price retests again, you can add this profit, which is the 100 again here. Or if price breaks it down, you can add the 100 at a better price. That's one. Two, you enter 100, then you close 50 here. And then if price breaks it upward, then you will re-add the 50 again, okay? Which is the 100, I mean the half, right? This way, you won't feel bad if price, for example, if you go up and close it and price now goes parabolic upward, right? You won't feel bad. You are already holding half. And you are looking for opportunities to add this other half, but you also not feel bad if price goes down because you already booked profit, and instead you will feel a little bit happy, not happy, but you know what I mean, that yes, it may be providing you with a better opportunity now, or even with a better price, right? So this is when price is going down aggressively, or when we have a correction, you will not feel that attached to a trade because you already made some profit, okay? So this is for algo, and this is for an example of a horizontal range. Let's now do some examples on a bullish trend. Okay, so we have XLM here, and for those who know me already, you know that we've been trading this one, looking for buy here, and so on. But I'm going to give you an example about this overall bullish trend. So we are overall bullish. Okay, clearly price. This is a very, very clean market structure. So higher highs, very clean, higher highs, high lows, right? So now we can draw like this channel. So always try to find, I call it the outer trend line. So always try to find like the bound of where the price is moving. Is it either down, up, or in the range? Just like we did on Algo and ADA previously. Now this one is clearly going up. So this is the lower bound, right? And this is the upper bound in the shape of a rising channel. What I'm trying to say is previously, don't buy when the impulse is about to end, or even inside the impulse. If price is going up, don't buy, okay? Wait for a retest. And as you clearly see in this exact example, for example, if you bought here because of the fear of missing out, you had this opportunity here, okay? And if you didn't buy here because of you don't want to have this fear of missing out, and then price goes up, as you can see, you enter at the same exact price, right? So you will always have opportunity to re-enter again, okay? And if not in this particular instrument, you will have other opportunities on other instruments. So you will always have the opportunity to re-enter again. So don't just buy when the impulse is about to end. So now I'm going to show you an example. First of all, as mentioned previously, we're looking for buy. We have this overall trend up. On the retest, we were looking for buy setups. And we don't just like buy blindly on the retest, right? So price is going up. We don't just like when it goes down, we just immediately buy. We will look for areas where the price might reject it, right? For example, here, price is going up. We have this range, okay? So this is the first one. This is acting as an horizontal support. And we also have this demand area, an aggressive movement upward here or here. So this is two demand areas, if you want to call it. Anyway, this is a very strong area to look for buy setups because we have the intersection of this demand and this non-horizontal support. So always try to make sense. Always try to, for example, if it's going up, then this is the lower bound, and this is where we are looking for buy setups to catch the next impulse. And this is the good thing about it. Always think in terms of risk to reward. If I'm going to enter here, the price can still reject this area before going down. So this is my reward and this is my risk, okay? While here, where price might go, it might go here. That's the next demand area or the next support, for example, while my reward is like this. As price is going up, so we can expect another higher high or a new all-time high in this case. So as mentioned previously, you enter the buy here 0.5, and here you have like double your money, 0.8. You can close half here, book your profit, and on the retest, here you can look for new buy setups to add in the next half. Or if price goes parabolic from here, you won't be sad because you're already holding half, and then you can look for buy setups on the retest. Okay, this is an example. And the reason why I included this one, even though the price broke this channel downward, right? So now the price broke it downward. So the next rejection area would be around here. So now we're looking for buy setups. However, I'm not going to buy here because the price can reject this. Okay, so always think in terms what might reject price next if I enter buy here. Okay, don't enter buy around what we call previous resistance, and doesn't have to be horizontal resistance. Don't enter buy if we have something that might hold price down. In this particular case, I'm personally waiting for XLM to prove that the buyers are taking over again by breaking inside this channel again. And as you can see, we can even zoom in anyway, right? So I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible for today and just to trade on higher time frames. So we can clearly see that we are overall bearish, and we can also even zoom into lower time frames. We are overall bearish, right? So clearly bearish, and we were overall bullish previously, then price broke below the previous low, and so on. Anyway, let's focus on the current conditions. So our overall bearish, and just previously the price made a higher low, so it's an early alert that we might have a shift in momentum. However, for the buyers to take full control, they have to break above not only this high but also this high to break inside this channel again. So now we know that the buyers are strong enough to push back inside this channel. Then and only then I'll be looking for buy setups, because this one now is acting as a resistance. I want it to become support again, even though that as per the rules of the trend lines, this is not like a logical rule or the rule that you see in the textbook. But you've got what I mean. You have to make sense of the chart. You have to get a feeling about what's happening and when the buyers would finally take over. So this is what I'm interested in. And as you can see this, you can see it on almost all coins. So if I go up and down just straight, you can see it. Here we go, right? So you can see this exact same thing. That's why we like to analyze like Bitcoin, because it's the mother of all coins. And whatever Bitcoin do, the other ones would follow, right? So you can see this one. So when price breaks above the 4,500, you can clearly see that all other coins would be also breaking above this. XLM would be breaking back inside this channel and so on. So this is a very crucial area that the buyers have to break before taking full control. Okay. This is another example, just exactly like XLM. I know many traders love Chainlink. So exactly the same. So instead, in this particular case, you can look for buy stops here because it can still go up like this. Okay, so for the buyers to take full control, they have to break above this area again and again, as mentioned before. Okay, so now we've covered the range and we've covered the upward channel. Now we've got what in case of a downward channel. The case of a downward channel, here we have H bar. The case of a downward channel, because in Forex, for those who know that we are in a range, we'll be looking for sell and for buy. Instead, here we're not looking for sell. Maybe you can close half, but we'll be looking for buy and we're looking for buy. Okay. And then the upward channel, it's very simple. We'll be looking for buy on the lower bounds, right? And you can close half on the upper bound. When the price is going down like this, it's a little bit different because we are not going to sell here. Instead, we are going to look for buy setups around the lower area. However, I've put 3 examples, like 3 different scenarios for the falling channel. Okay, so price can be inside, in the middle, can be in around here, and can be around here. So what to do in such cases, in each different case? So first of all, if you can zoom out or not, anyway, this is a clear demand area, right? So this is a demand area that price might reject, and this is why we're looking for buy setups in the first place. And price is clearly going down. The lower trend line is acting as a non-horizontal support, right? So as price retests it, we're looking for buy setups here. And the reason why, even though it's a bearish trend, because the price can still go up and make like double your money before reaching the upper one. So you enter, for example, buy here, you can close half here. Then if price retest, then you can look for new opportunities to enter with a second half. If price invalidates it or break it upward in a valid manner, then you can look for buy setups around this area. Okay, so this is the first example. We'll be looking for buy here. Think in terms of risk to reward. If it's around here, this is your reward, and the price might reject it, and this is your risk. Okay, while here, this is your risk around this area, but this is the reward. Okay, this is a particular example on H bar, and next we have CHZ Chili's. So this is an exact example. I posted this one like 1 week ago. Price was in the middle, exactly in the middle. So I'm not interested now to trade it. I'm waiting for price to break above the channel, then I'll be looking for buy, or if price forms a swing here and then breaks it upward, or I want to see a dive in around this lower trend line and this demand area. So we have a demand here, we have a demand here. It's very clear from daily time frame. This is it. Okay, so this is an explosive movement upward, and here we also have one here, but this one is clearly stronger than the one in green, but the price can still break it downward. Then this would be the next support or demand area that we're looking for, but interested in buying. So this one is sitting midway, unlike H bar sitting around here. So sitting midway, that now I'm not interested in buying unless we can see a price to go down, because here where I would have an edge, or I wanted to break it upward or invalidate it. And speaking of this example, this is an example on Holo. Okay, so on Holo, for example, we've got, let me show you, here we go. So we've got a demand area, let me take this one. We've got a demand area, we can clearly see it also from H4, an explosive movement upward. We are looking for buy setups. The momentum is clearly bearish, right? So low lows, lower highs. Even if you zoom into the time frames, you can see it very, very clearly. And you don't want to buy a bearish market, right? So we're clearly overall bearish. We're waiting for a shift in momentum. It happens that the demand area is where we are looking for buy setups. And now this is an example. So on H bar, the price was around here. On Chili's, price was around here, waiting for price to go down or go up. On this particular example, the price already formed a channel, and it formed like a valid channel. Now we are waiting for a break above it, as you can clearly see here. So I was waiting for this to happen, and it happened. So now I'm still waiting for price to break above this area. Of course, it's not a financial advice. I'm just trying to give you as many cases as possible, so that you can apply it on different instruments. Okay, so this is it. Always try to find where you are in the market. And the session with a quick example where I put everything together. Here we have idea, and I show this one is because sometimes you can see instruments or coins that you don't have enough data. Okay, that's why I picked this particular example, that how you can make sense, how you can know when to look for setups. So first of all, on idea on daily time frame, we were clearly overall bullish. You can see it even better from H4. This is it. So trading inside this movement. So starting from here, we can know that the price is trading like this. Right, so we can draw this trend line, and you can also draw this trend line, right? So we know now the upper bound and lower bound, and unlike the previous ones when we had a channel, this one is trading like, it's not that typical one, but it's like a rising bonding wedge. Anyway, you don't care about the name. You just want to know that it's now trading inside this area. And the bigger the impulse, as you can see, the bigger the correction. So bigger correction, bigger impulse, and you can expect a bigger correction eventually. So the reason why I'm sharing this now is because, first of all, on daily time frame, we were looking previously for buy setups around this area. Because why? We have a demand zone, right? An aggressive movement upward from here. We are not going to buy here. We are waiting for price to go down or to break it upward, and then we might look for buy setups. We already covered many examples about this case. We have a demand here. We have this overall movement upward. We know now that the price is trading here and here. So if you enter here, this is our risk. Maybe the price would go and test the lower level, but our reward, as you can see, is very huge. Okay, because the next area price might eject is trading inside this rising bonding wedge. So this is the upper area. So we can look for buy here, and then you can close half, one double or triple. It depends on your trading style. And of course, we have to have a resistance, right? So don't just like close it or close half just because it's doubled your money or not. Anyway, you just like know what's working for you and apply it. So now, just like XLM and just like Link, okay, so price broke it down, even though we don't have a channel. So price broke XLM like this, and we are waiting for price to break back inside this channel. So this is a different example, but the same logic. broke below this lower trend line. Now we're waiting for price to break back inside it. And anyway, even if you don't have this trend line, we can clearly see that this area has now become what has now become resistance, right? So support, and then price broke it downwards, so it's now acting as resistance. You don't want to buy around resistance, right? So we wait for price for it to break above it again, and then we can say that the buyers are taking over. And of course, you can zoom into lower time frames and do your structure analysis. For example, here where we were looking for buy setups, lower lows, and then price failed to make a lower low, made a higher low, then broke above the high. And now here's an example on the current case. Price is going down, lower lows, lower highs. You don't want to buy a bearish market, right? However, you can clearly see that, as mentioned previously on Bitcoin, we can clearly see that the bearish impulse are going flatter. So this is it. We can see that aggressive movement downward, but aggressive, steep and aggressive. Now it's going like flatter and smaller. Okay, so this is how, when you know that, you have to be prepared, you have to put your alerts, or you have to, I don't know what's your trading plan, that now I'm going to keep an eye on this one, because the impulse are clearly going flatter, and this is where the price now made an equal low. And anyway, it's not like done yet. The price can still trade down, but now this swing is about to be over. And if it closes like this and price go like this, then it can be confirmed that the price now made the first higher low. And of course, we don't jump in just because we have a higher low. We wait for price to break above this area here, which is, as mentioned previously, you can see this area on almost all altcoins. So until broken upward, we can say that the bulls are in full control yet. Okay.
Brilliant. Well, look,
this is it.
Richard, that was an awesome breakdown for anyone who's interested in trading full stop and interested in trading technicals on crypto, which, I mean, I learned about 20 different things in there. So I hope you guys watched this. And if it's the first time seeing this sort of stuff, I do recommend probably going back a few times and watching this and taking notes and trying it out. Now, Richard, what's the best way for the guys to get hold of you?
Yes, as usual, my website is richtl.com, or you can talk to me personally on Instagram at Rich the Signalist. Okay, you can find me anywhere, and I'll be happy to help from all my heart.
Brilliant. Well, look, guys, we did also shoot a few other videos with Richard. If you want to look at his Forex trading analysis videos, we've got those. We've got a link to his show below this video here as well. So a full-on interview to find out how he got to where he got to, as well as doing the trading challenge on Trading Nut, where he does a backtest challenge. And I think we even created a little video out of that where you had this mammoth trade that you went through. So guys, there's all that over there on the channel. And do remember, hit subscribe, hit like, and click on that bell, and click the notifications, click all. And we'll see you in the next one.